Thank you for watching Profile. This is the show that shares inspiring stories of ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things in this world. And our guest today is no different. Tobias Brown, an author, is a motivational speaker, he's a business coach, a grill master when it comes to jerk. Tobias, I'm so happy to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate the opportunity, and let's get into it.
Let's do it. Now, Tobias, the list goes on. Author, you name it. You are an immigrant here in Canada. You moved from the USA.
I did.
Yes, and you also have Jamaican background.
I did.
Now, tell us about your background.
I was born and raised in a city called Maywood, Illinois, a suburb outside of Chicago, Illinois, right?
Yes.
So we were working middle class. I remember my mother and my father both had 2 jobs. My father had 3 because one job wouldn't give him enough hours. So you just got to do what you got to do to make the ends meet. And both of them working as hard as they could were just making the ends meet. But they taught us values, right?
Yes.
So money wasn't necessarily what we needed. The values were what we needed. And so we see 10, 15, 20 years later that the values come through. And you see with us as kids, and when we all grew up together, the ones who had the values and the ones who did not. So there's a sect of us, and it doesn't make us any better or worse than any people, but at the same time, we were given those core values, and those stick with you so that when you get old, you don't depart from them.
You were one of the top 1% students in school. How did that happen?
That happened from pain. I'll share that in a second, but I went to Proviso East High School in Maywood, Illinois, right? If we were to rank this, probably more now, 350, 400,000 students since the school's inception that have graduated, right? Yeah. So I probably got to be one of the top 2 or 3 smartest kids to come out of there. Wow. But my disposition did not reflect that at all, right? So I played around. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't turn in the homework. I didn't do the test. I was trying to do it in really quickly in the last minute, and it bit me because senior year I needed to pass a science class. I never forget this years later, and I needed to pass an English class. Yes. All I needed to do was just pass the test. I didn't study for either one of them and turn in the paper. I did not turn in the paper. I turned in she wanted a 2-page paper, nothing major. Yeah. I gave a C. Sally Run type paper, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't pass this. Both of them said that, and that broke my heart because graduation came, and I have a twin brother, and my father said, hey, it's time for you guys to go get your cap and gown. And so we're like, okay, cool. And so, but I was still with my parents. Yeah. So my brother skedaddled off to get his. Time to line up with the graduates. And I was still walking. He said, why are you walking with us? You're supposed to go. Now, I got really quiet. My mother's like, you didn't tell him. And he's like, tell me what? And I was like, I'm not going to graduate. Wow. And so, right. So normally, my father's a very staunch military man, staunch disciplinarian, you better blah, blah, blah. And we would normally get whippings and stuff like that. He didn't even touch me. He just kind of turned, he said, you disappointed me. Now you want me to act a fool in front of all these people? I'm not doing that. And that broke me. Because the day went on. So my mother rented and father spent money to rent a banquet hall for us and cater at Chat. Shout out to Chats if they still open, whatever. And, when people come, and she invited everybody. The mayor of the town came, and they got 2 cards for twin boys, $20 here and $20. And it was stacking. But the heavier those cards got, and the more money we got, the heavier my heart got because I didn't feel like I deserved that. I didn't work for this. And I messed it up. Nobody else messed that up. And that it was in a broken place. And so something clicked. Yes. And then when given an opportunity to get to Central State University, which I didn't deserve because I got a 1.2 GPA, which is horrible, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't graduate on time. And then I asked these people to take a chance on me at Central State, which is a historically black college and university, and they did. Yes. And I was like, if you just give me one chance, please, 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 just one chance for one semester, I promise. I show up. Yes. I show up, and boom. When I hit the ground running, I didn't have any options. I didn't have a bunch of scholarships and blah. It was like I had to make it happen. I had to pay for $20,677 a year. That I had. My parents didn't have money to give to me then. They were like, if you want this dream to happen, then go after it. And that's what I had. And so, starting the first semester, I hit the ground running, and then at the end of the semester, here's what happens. Yes. They take all the dean's list or president's list or honor roll students, and those are the top 10% of all of the students, right? Yes. So then if we rank the top 10% of the students, the top 10% of this top 10%, that's the top 1%. That's where I was, right? So it's a few select people. You start seeing the same people on that list all the time, like, anybody can get all A's and do really well the one semester, but do it semester, year after year after year after year, through the despites, through the professors that are jerks, through the ones who don't like you because of whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm still going to get A in this class. So after that, everybody wanted me. Every school, all the top school, we'll take you now. Well, I was the same person, but I was loyal to Central State because Central State gave me an opportunity.
Sure, you are an inspiration to someone, because I had chills, I had goosebumps just sitting here listening to you. And I'm like, wow. And we all need to know and hear a story like this. Yeah, so thanks for sharing. No. But we're going to keep going.
Yeah,
we're going to keep going. Now, what happened next? You finished schooling. What happened next?
I immediately started for my master's program because I wanted to continue. So my undergraduate degree is in marketing, right? I did that because I knew I would sell something somewhere. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what 10 years held down the line or 15 years, but I knew I would sell something. I did my master's degree in entrepreneurship because I could still speak that language. I was very good at it. And whatever it was, I just wanted to do my own thing. And then Harvard called. They look around the country, around the world for the top students, and they invite them to certain programs they have. And then I was invited there. They called me and asked me to come on. I'm like, whoa. Yes. So I thought it was a joke because my brothers, they do a lot of practical jokes and stuff. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I'm about to go hamburger on this lady. It's like, snap. But someone was like, just wait. She's like, if you want, you can call me back. And I called her back. And it was Harvard. I was like, I am so sorry. I apologize. Woo. My brother was like, I didn't do that. I was like, ma'am, just forgive. She's like, it's all forgiven. No, she was so nice. She was so nice. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you did. You are an author. You said that you are an author. Tell us about your writing. Everything
that I told you is the name of the book is It's Easier Than You Think. And that shares my story of how I went from like a 1.2 GPA to a 3.93 cumulative GPA. And that's how I finished in the top 1%. So like when you see a student who does really well and you see her, that's not an accident. She's figured out the formula, and whatever time it is, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you still got to figure out the formula. There is a formula. You just have to keep mixing ingredients until, does this taste? Try it again. Does this taste? This is it. Now, how did I do that? Let's go and let's repeat this and repeat this and repeat that. 100 years from now, that's still going to be accurate. It'll still be the same thing you do. So that was the first book. The other book, that was, and I published that book because I wanted it, I wanted to have my own publishing and have my own publishing company, blah, blah, blah. The other book is called African American Men in College. And that was a big house. And I was invited by Dr. Michael Sujay to write in that book. So what he did was put a culmination of 21 authors that all had something to contribute to the African American college experience, right? And I did one chapter of it, and I did that on It's Easier Than You Think. And at that time, I was still in undergrad when I did it, and that was an honor. He brought me along and gave me an opportunity he did not have to give me. So 16 authors, of the 21 authors, 16 had a PhD. If you look at all of them, doctor this, doctor that. Yeah. Of the 21, 16 had a PhD, 4 had a master's degree. And then there was little old Tobias Brown who was trying to get through the second or third year of college. And so I was the only one at that time who did that. And probably the other 4 have degrees now, like those things. So
clearly they saw something in you. Yes. And I'm sure you deliver on that. Awesome. Now you went on to do motivational speaking. Tell us about that.
So there's a thing like that first year you're leaving secondary or high school to get to university. It's all brand new. Yeah. It's way bigger than you come from this little bitty baby town, and there's 25,000 students. Everybody's your age. Everybody's blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's overwhelming at times. It's a lot of distractions. You're trying to keep up with your grades. You're trying to do everything. So and that's where It's Easier Than You Think came up. I was like, I started working with a formula. Here's one that I found that it worked for a majority of students. And if you take just one of these, it'll move you to the top 20%. You take 2 of them, it'll take you to the top 10%. And 3 of them will keep you in that top 10%. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's just you have to get focused and realize Work time is work time and playtime is playtime. Don't mix the two. When we're over here working, we gotta work. When we're over here playing, have a good time the weekend. There's no problem with that. I would never keep you. So that's how, and I started going around to university. And then at the height of it, I was at 100 universities a year, traveling 200 days a year. Boy, that's rough. I was really, really young then, and I was able to do it, So
Yes.
if you see in one city, you kind of...
Clearly, life has been good for you in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, you've decided you're going to leave and come to this place called Canada.
Hey!
Yes. Welcome to Canada.
CA. Thank you.
Nice. How did that happen? What brought you here?
Initially, love brought me here, and
Beautiful.
And I thought, it's an amazing thing having met an amazing person and family and stuff like that. And then once I realized, I got here, I saw the opportunities to continue on. I fell in love with the food. I fell in love with the culture. I fell in love with the opportunities, the multiple opportunities to do things, the thing that you love to do. And Canada has embraced me like a son. And it's just like, whoa. And I'm going to be here.
Thomas Jerk, what was the journey like? Let's go back to the beginning and where you are today. What makes you the grill master of jerk?
I've been cooking chicken for 20 years, right? What I knew is being that hustler, right? I was always around the dope boys. I was always around the cats who might have been a little shady. But you know what? They never let me be a part. I was always around. I knew all the guys in both of the gangs. Where we come from, you're either a vice lord, or a gangster disciple, or a Latin king. The Latin king were the Latino brothers. But everybody knew each other, but didn't like each other. But I was cool with everybody, right? So I would go over here and I'd be like, hey, what time is the meeting? The meeting at 5. And then I show up to the meeting, yeah, what's up? They'd be like, and then they would make plans. You're going to be on 5th Avenue. You're going to be on 9th Avenue. You're going to be on 19th Avenue. I'd be like, yeah, where am I going to be? It's like, no, Toby. They used to call me Toby. No, Toby, you can't go. Why can't I be a part of the other part? Because they knew where they were going was in uncharted waters, and they didn't know, and they didn't want me to be there. None of them allowed me to go.
Because they see that you are different from them.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Mm-hmm. They say you cool with everybody. And they knew that I was cool with the other gangs and would go to their meetings and sit down and blah, blah, blah. But even when they go to war, they were like, listen, something happened over here. We going over there to handle this. You can't go with us. Every single time. I probably can count 10, 15 times they said no to me. And I get choked up sometimes because they cared. Long story short, 7 of them have kids who I put through college. And so it's like an interesting thing.
Giving back, eh?
Mm-hmm. So then I start thinking, how can I make money? And it's legally. I'm not doing anything illegal at this place. It'll cost me too much, right?
Yeah. So
let's start selling candy again. Let's start doing it. And I remember the shout out to the brothers, the Kappa Alpha Psi brothers. At Central State University with Mansell, Jarrell, all them brothers. Shout out to them. I went to Costco out there. Mm-hmm. I paid the $50 or $60. I think it was $50 at the time for a membership. And then I spent maybe all but $20 on candy and gum and blah, blah, blah. And that first night, once you go through the process, then they all do one big pro show. And they show off themselves and the new recruits that have made it. And they crossing in now officially members of the fraternity, right? Yeah. That's what ended up happening. So that night it was freezing. We were by the library, in front of the library. And I said, you know what? Let's do this. Does anybody want any candy? And everybody was shy. I was like, whatever, dude. I went and get a table. I flipped the table upside down. I took my gym bag, and poured all this candy outside. I was like, y'all really? Nobody hungry out here? And somebody was like, I'll give you 50 cents. I'll give you $1. And that's how I was born. So then I had the biggest store on campus. It was bigger than the campus store. And we did everything. We would sell, and that's when we started selling chips. We started selling drinks. They wouldn't allow me. I had enough money to buy a big refrigerator, but they wouldn't. So we had 4, the little stack one, then one on top of it, 3 and 4. Shout out to Daniel, who's my roommate. Shout out to Ale and John too, and Tiffany, the first lady of the store. But at the height of it, then we would also sell. I had 2 George Foreman grills. George Foreman grills. Remember, we used to be able to cook the chicken on George Foreman grill. Those were illegal, but I had 2 of them, and I was making chicken sandwiches every single night. So I would go get the chicken, season the chicken up, cook it, chop it up, and then put it on sandwiches. So I've been cooking chicken for 20 years. And so then I got here. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes.
What am I good at?
Yes.
I'm really good at cooking chicken, if we just gonna tell the truth. Some people like it because I went to Harvard, I'm not cooking chicken. I'm cooking chicken. But the thing was, I was inspired by my adopted mother, who was Jamaican, who loved me in a very dark place. And a few years ago, just not many, many years ago, but she loved me and she said, "You're mine. You're my pitting in them. You're my pitting in them." And she treated me like I was her own child. And part of this I do to honor her.
What's her name?
Ciola was one, and then Thomasine is the other. And that's what I ended up doing. Thomasine is why I named it Tommy's Jerk, right? And it's two things. It's Tommy's my version of jerk, and I was her child, and I was a jerk. It's really what I was. And sometimes you spend the rest of your life repenting and repentance and all that. I'm sorry. I love everybody. But the bottom line is those people who impacted me are the ones who I honor with this. But I just found that I was good once I started cooking. I started cooking at a night. That's what I started back home. Okay. And it was a funeral. And if you don't know what a night is, it is when someone passes and they go on and they pass. Then what happens is they go back to the house and have a celebration.
Before the funeral.
Before the funeral, the day before the funeral, usually the night before the funeral. And in the back, that's when I fell in love. When they dug a hole in the ground, they put wood over it, put the pot on top of it, and they started cooking. I said, oh, this is the thing right here. Oh. Yes. And so then I'm in there tasting. And some people are like, "Oh, it's cooking, I'm not cooking." I didn't have a problem with it. I was like, let me cook, let me stir, let me do whatever. And that's part of the thing. I was able to hone my craft and cook there. I want to see what it tastes like when I cook there. And why am I the grill master jerk? Because I've sat with the greatest to do it. And I just do it a non-traditional way. I do boneless chicken. We always knew, what is that? Leg and thigh, right? And so what I decided was, I want to do it differently. What if I use breast? What if I use thighs and they just took the bone out of it? And then I marinated and it's that juicy meat, right? And then I put that on the grill because jerk come from the smoke. And then I wanted to put it in a taco. I thought that was creative and something innovative to take a traditional dish and then do it a non-traditional way. So I was like, okay, so we do tacos, we do burritos. The kids love it. They call it, we call it Jamaican nachos. They call it a walking taco. Bag of Doritos, hot nacho cheese, the meat, everything, lettuce, peach, mango salsa, all in the bag. They love it. Give them a fork and they just keep on going. This tradition, we going to keep it alive. We going to keep it going. And then, wouldn't never call myself the best or whatever have you, but what I do know is I can represent and replicate Jamaica here. 98% of the people here will never go to Jamaica for whatever reason. Especially when the world opens back up, we'll have our own bucket list of places we want to go. But that's not a problem. We're going to bring Jamaica here. That's a beautiful thing. And that's what I want to do and honor the people who came before me and all of Jamaica today.
I also noticed you have been nominated for the
Small Business BC Award.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing. Has it been highs? Yes. We were featured on the front of a newspaper. We just got a shout out with Global BC. We're up for a Clovis last year. We had only been open like 6 to 9 months, and they gave us. We were a finalist. Yes. I was like, whoa! Just to be honored, to have somebody say, "This tastes just like Jamaica." When I was there, this tastes just like when I got off the boat and I went down there with the vendors. I'm like, this is what it tastes like. That's an honor.
Love what you're doing, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So what's next for you? What's the next year going to be for you?
Next year, we want to move into our own location. So we'll be revisiting and having another conversation about that. That's one. Two, we've been working on we're at the final stage of creating my own jerk sauce. I've created my own one. We did about 6 weeks of testing. And hundreds of people have weighed in, and it's just like, this is the one we're going to go with. And then from there, we'll just, we'll start bridging and making a line of them. There'll be, there's the regular, there's mild, there's spicy, there's whoa. Whoa is like, whoa. And that's like, no.
Just like
yeah. And so that's the one we're doing. So that's what we'll be doing. Yeah.
These jerks that you're doing, is it just for your business or they will be on the shelf?
Oh, the sauce is going to be on the shelf.
Okay.
The sauces will be on the shelf. We definitely want to do that because we do have brands, but like there are, if you look at barbecue sauces, there are 15 kinds of barbecue sauces. When I see jerk marinade here, there's about 2 or 3. So there's an opportunity here to continue on again, and shout out to the folks who are already doing it and stuff like that. But I think there's room for us to be able to move in there and then be able to bring it to the masses. I want to take it to the masses and let them know, hey, you can take this, put it on your chicken, your fish, your beef, your steak, and then put it on that grill, or put it in your oven or whatever have you, and you be able to take a slice of us or take Jamaica home with you.
Beautiful journey to where you are in life. But looking back, would you have done anything differently? What would you have changed?
We ask that question all the time. The answer has to, for me, be no. Everything made me who I was.
Really?
Everything gave me the passion and the fire. Sometimes you begin the process with, I'll show everybody that I can do this. Then after a while, it's like, that ain't why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I'm good at it, because I have a passion for it. And then you continue. When you absolve everybody and everything of all that other stuff and that pain and the teacher who told me I'd never be nothing in life, I remember her name. I could call her out today. And that was years ago when I was little. When I told the one teacher I wanted to go to Stanford, she's like, come on now. Come on. You get back at people by just being successful. That's all you got to do. And it'll see, and everybody else will see. You never have to act a fool or call anybody out by name. For what? For what reason?
But you said it. Be successful.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said that when you disappointed your father, you felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that something you would want to change?
No, it wouldn't. It didn't. That fire I still had. Because one of the best things that ever happened to me, I was able to go to him. I remember it was Christmas. I was home for Christmas. And I said, Dad, here, so guess who's ranked #1 in the university right now? That's me. That is a good feeling. He's like, I'm proud of you. And even if he, I know he would have been proud of me whether he said it or he didn't, because my mother would tell him. She'd be, oh yeah, because I was talking to her more than I was talking to him. But to tell him that, and our relationship ended up being a very good relationship. But like when you get past all that other stuff, I said, I apologize that I hurt you. He's like, it's all right. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't change anything. Take the pain. You need it.
What's your message or advice to people who are struggling?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, can I do it? Is this for me? Am I good enough? Will I ever be successful? There's no opportunity out there. What's your message?
Wherever you are, I've been there. I've been to the highs, I've been lows. I've been both. You have a dream and it calls you, right? Mm-hmm. And whether or not and this is everybody, you'll wake up in the morning and let's say you had a hard day. It was a long day. You did this, you had studying, you at work, you get home, you get a shower, you get to eat. You didn't even finish the food. You were so tired. You just ate, and then went to bed. Mm-hmm. When you're laying there, you're like, this day is over. And you quiet yourself and you quiet your mind. In that instance, your dream comes to you and it speaks very quietly. And it's like, hey, well, what about this thing over here? And it's not a loud voice. It's not a pushy voice. It's just, hey, it's not a nagging or an annoying voice. Hey, what about this thing here? And then the next time it happens is you go to sleep, you have a great rest, you wake up, you're like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this. And you start thinking in your mind the things you need to do. And it's that voice again. And it's like, what's up? What about this here? It'll call you until you answer or until you die. Those are the two. So you can choose to answer it, but we're like, but I got this and I got this and I got this. Well, welcome to the real world. But I still want to do this.
For people who are trying to start businesses, who are looking to do it probably the traditional way, to say, I need to follow these steps to start my business. Let's talk about the way you started yours, and what advice would you give to these people who are trying to do it the traditional way?
The long and short of everything, or the net of it is, the world's changed. Mm-hmm. We all know that. That's not a brand new thing, but everything has reset. Everything has reset. There is not necessarily a playbook. Everybody who's writing books and stuff is kind of winging it. We're like, So what they're all doing is grabbing their bowl, mixing their ingredients and saying, does this work? No, that didn't work. Does this work? Oh yeah, this works. And that's the only way we're going to know. Entrepreneurship, only thing you need is to be able to look around and see a problem. And so with the new reset, and everything, there are a whole new set of problems. So you still have to be able to answer it. Well, I am, Tobias. What should I do? You have to be the number one marketer. You got to be willing to work harder in different areas, right? Marketing will never change, right? The way we market changes, and you still got to put in that work. I'll give you an example. Let's just use jerk. All I want to do is niche market is chicken. Chicken, 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 jerk chicken, write chicken down, Google chicken. That's me. You won't be able to say Jamaican jerk chicken without saying me. If you got something, you got to make sure your quality is tight. You got to get your business license. You got to pass the test and everything with Fraser Health. And you have to be able to have a location to say, yes, you can use us. That's my path. It is a non-traditional way, but you have to believe in your thing more than anybody else. You can't wait on nobody else. You got to do it. It's on you.
I'm here listening to Tobias talk, and I feel like I'm at school, just paying attention. Thank you for your wisdom and for sharing, sharing. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Now,
thank you.
Did you learn anything today? What are you going to do differently? Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in our next episode.
Thank you. See you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye for now.